Welcome back to Finding Faith in Funny. My name is Chase. This is my show. This is the show where we use humor to find faith in humanity, or faith in yourself, or faith in a higher power, whatever. Humor is an important tool in your life, and I think it builds on your faith in whatever it is you have faith in. And that's pretty much what the whole premise of this show is. So thank you guys for listening. Hope you've enjoyed the interviews today. It's just me, so you've either stopped listening already or you're willing to stick this out with me. Either way, thank you. So today, I want to talk about talent, specifically talent shows, which, if you think about it, talent shows are one of the weirdest things humans have ever invented. You think about what a talent show actually is. We get a bunch of people together to say, hey, everybody, come into this building and prove that you're better than everybody else at the one thing that you're good at. And that's basically what a talent show is. And somehow we've decided this is entertainment enough to make America's Got Talent or The Voice or American Idol, whatever. Different versions of talent shows, and they just keep exponentially growing. You get to go in there and be like, tonight we have 30 people competing for your approval. And you know, somebody's going to walk out there and do something absolutely incredible every time. They're going to sing, they're going to dance, they're going to play the piano. Somebody's going to play the violin while simultaneously juggling a flaming chainsaw. And you're going to be sitting there thinking, well, my talent is knowing exactly when the milk in my refrigerator has gone bad. And that's a talent more people should be aware of. Listen, I don't know if that's if knowing when your expiration dates are going to get you to the finals, but it is important, right? Now, the judging of a talent show is always fascinating because somehow we're supposed to compare completely different talents. Okay, you've got a phenomenal singer, an incredible dancer, a guy who plays a guitar with his teeth, and a comedian. Who wins? How in the world is anyone supposed to figure that out? It's not apples to apples. It's different. It's like having a competition for the greatest food and putting pizza, steak, ice cream, and a burrito all on the same stage. All right, judges, which one's the most talented? I don't know. I kind of want all of them. And talent shows can be emotional too because somebody will walk out there and sing a song that they wrote for their mom. And then suddenly the audience is crying. Then the judges are crying. The person next to you is crying. And then someone like me is going to be going backstage thinking about, ooh, I hope this joke about Costco works. Otherwise, I'm screwed. But as silly as talent shows can be, I really actually think they are important. Because underneath all the competition, all the judging, the trophies, and the awkward standing ovations, there's something that's pretty awesome that's happening that I think is missed sometimes. And that is people are sharing what they're good at. They're putting something they've worked on in front of strangers and saying, this is what I can do. And I think that's something we should all do more often because everybody has something. Everybody has a talent. Maybe it's singing, maybe it's dancing, maybe it's playing an instrument, maybe it's painting, maybe it's building something, maybe it's telling stories. Maybe it's making people feel comfortable and when they're having a terrible day. Maybe your talent is making people laugh. Whatever it is, I think we're supposed to use it. You're supposed to use your talents because we don't know who might need or benefit from us sharing that talent. And that's where I think comedians have a particularly interesting talent because a comedian can walk onto a stage in front of a room full of people who have absolutely nothing in common and for a few seconds make them all the same. People are going to have different religions, different political beliefs, different backgrounds, different ages, different life experiences, different life expectancies, different options, opinions. And then somebody's going to tell a joke and everybody laughs. That's powerful. Laughter doesn't require an application. It doesn't require your political affiliation. It doesn't ask what church you attend. It doesn't ask where you're from. It just asks one question. Was that funny? And if the answer is yes, we all laugh together. And sometimes that's all it takes. One joke, one observation, one ridiculous sentence, and suddenly 1,300 people who walk into a room as complete strangers are sharing the exact same moment. That's what I love about comedy. That's why I'm really excited to, again, for the second year, tell you that I'm a finalist in Dixie's Got Talent here in St. George, Utah. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means I get to go tell jokes for 2 minutes. I have 2 minutes on that stage to change the world. There are 30 contestants, 30 people who are going to walk into a room on a stage in a theater that holds 1,300 people and show what they can do. There's singers, there's dancers, there's musicians. There are people who have probably been practicing their songs and their choreography and their instruments and their routines for months or even longer. And then there's me. I'm going to be telling jokes, which is probably the least emotionally manipulative talent you can have in a competition like this. Because let's be honest, I'm not going to beat the person who gets on a stage and sings a song about their grandma who passed away. I'm not beating that. How am I supposed to compete with someone's dead grandma? Here's my talent. I'm going to tell a joke about essential oils. Meanwhile, somebody's going to go up there singing about the woman who raised them. The audience will be crying, the judges will be crying, and I'm going to go backstage being like, man, I hope there's an essential oil good enough for this. But here's the thing. I'm a finalist out of 30 contestants, and I don't know how many auditioned. But out of 30 people, I'm the only person doing stand-up in a theater that holds 1,300 people. That's going to be a live audience. There's going to be judges. There's going to be voting. There's going to be a live stream. There's going to be a YouTube link. And I have 2 minutes. That's it. 2 minutes and 1 second, I'm disqualified. 2 minutes. 2 minutes to walk onto that stage and convince 1,300 people that what I do matters. And I've spent a lot of time thinking about what my goal should be. Should my goal be to win? Obviously. I mean, I'm competitive. You're telling me the winner gets $500? Yeah, I want to win. I'm not going to go backstage and say, I don't care if I win. That's BS. I want to win. Don't get me wrong. But I also know something. I may not win because comedy is a weird talent. It's weird in a talent competition. I always joke that the reason we become comedians is because we don't have talent. So if somebody sings a song beautifully, you know that they're talented. If somebody plays an instrument incredibly well, you know that they're talented. If somebody dances their ass off, you know that they're talented. Comedy, you either laugh or you don't. And even if they laugh, they might not vote for you. And that's okay because I've realized something. My job that night isn't necessarily to win. My job is to be memorable. My job is to walk on that stage and remind people that what stand-up comedy can do. Because stand-up comedy is an art form, and I think sometimes we forget that. A comedian walks onto a stage with basically nothing. No guitar, no piano, no elaborate costume, no backup dancers, no special effects. Just a microphone and 2 minutes. And hopefully the right material to bring people together, even if it's just for 2 minutes. Somehow, we try to take experiences we've had in our lives and turn them into something that makes a room full of absolute strangers laugh. That's incredible. And that's what I am going to be trying to demonstrate. I don't need everybody in that theater to remember my set. I don't need everybody to vote for me. I just want somebody to walk out of that theater and say, holy crap, that comedian was funny. I want somebody watching the live stream to stop scrolling for 2 minutes. I want somebody watching on YouTube 3 months later to still laugh at what I say. I want another comedian to see it and think, man, good for him. I want somebody who doesn't normally like stand-up comedy to understand why other people might love it. And most importantly, I want to walk off that stage knowing that I did the best that I could out there, that I didn't hold back or get tight because I was too concerned about winning. Because 2 minutes can be a long time. 2 minutes can also be nothing. And 2 minutes can change someone's entire opinion, not just of you, but of what you do. 2 minutes can make somebody laugh when they desperately need it. 2 minutes can introduce somebody to an art form, and sometimes 2 minutes can change the direction of someone's life. So when I walk onto that stage, I'm not going to think about the other 29 contestants. I'm not going to think about the judges. I'm not going to think about the votes. I'm not going to think about whether somebody else is more talented than me, because they are. I'm going out there with one thing on my mind. Make them remember me. Because I don't have a violin, I don't have a dance routine, I don't have a beautiful singing voice. I'll have a microphone, and I'll have 2 minutes, and I'll have jokes, and that's enough. 1,300 people, 2 minutes, to see what stand-up comedy can do. And I'm not there to just win. I'm going there to leave an impact. And if I do that, who knows? Maybe I'll win something bigger than $500. Now, I heard a church talk today. I went to church today, and I heard a great talk by someone in my ward. And he's someone I'd like to get on here, and if we can make it work, we will. But I'm going to kind of elaborate on his message, kind of put it into my own words, and hopefully relay that message back to you. Large part, what I'm going to say might be directly stealing from him, but nonetheless, it was a good message. So I heard a talk, the talk he gave today, the sermon, the speech, whatever you want to call it, got me thinking about what we actually spend our lives chasing. We spend so much time trying to get a raise, trying to make more money, trying to buy a bigger house, trying to get a nicer car, trying to get a promotion. And there's nothing wrong with any of those things. Those are good goals. There's nothing wrong with wanting to improve your life or your situation as it stands. But eventually you have to ask yourself, and this was his whole point, his two favorite questions are, so what? Who cares? Because you can work for 6 months and get a raise. And you can spend years saving for your house that you eventually get to buy. And you can work towards a career goal and eventually accomplish it and celebrate it, and you should celebrate it. And then when you wake up in the next morning after you accomplish that goal, the question remains, okay, what now? And I think that's why we need goals that aren't just things we are trying to accomplish someday. You need little things that you can accomplish today and every day, because maybe you can't reach your biggest spiritual goal today. Maybe you can't get your biggest career goal today. Maybe you can't change your life completely today, but you can do something today. Maybe for you, it's reading your scriptures once a day. Maybe for you, it's saying a prayer. Maybe for someone else, it's exercising. Maybe for somebody, it's calling someone you haven't talked with in a while. Maybe it's just simply being a little bit nicer today than you were yesterday. Whatever your little goals are, you have to have those little goals that you get to accomplish and win every day. My goal is to laugh and to make somebody else laugh every day. That's my goal. That's how I want to win every day. That's what makes this whole talent show thing so meaningful to me. Because sure, there's a competition, there's a stage, there's a microphone, there's judges, and yes, I'd love to do really well, and I'd love to win the $500. But even if that doesn't happen, if I walk onto that stage and I get 1,300 strangers to laugh, if I can make those people forget about whatever they're dealing with just for 2 minutes, and if I can make somebody sitting in the audience laugh who genuinely has not laughed all day, then maybe there are even more people who are going to see it online and they're going to laugh. And that is a victory for me. That's me winning that day. Because at the end of the day, I don't think we're here just to collect accomplishments. We're here to experience life. We're here to connect with people, to make memories, to contribute something. And sometimes our contribution isn't some giant accomplishment that gets our name on a building. Sometimes it's just a couple minutes on stage telling a stupid joke or a ridiculous story, and in a room full of people laughing together. Maybe that's the thing I want to remember. not whether or not I won the talent show, not how many views the video gets, not whether somebody thought I was the funniest person on stage, but whether what I did, whether what I want to remember is I did what I set out to do. I laughed and I made somebody else laugh for that day. And if I can do that, that's what I'll win. Thank you for listening. Talk to you next week.